All right, we're going to start with melted butter, but here's a little tip, guys. I got these deli papers for free at a restaurant going out of business, and it was a yard sale for them, and I just put one on top of my butter or margarine, but you could also use just a little napkin. That keeps it from exploding all over your microwave. Now, I just keep these in a little zip top bag in the refrigerator, and then when I need one, I just pull it out or use the one that I used in the recipe. Okay, and get this all nice and smooth. So here's another tip. I reuse my parchment paper even if it's a little bit greasy. It's not a big deal. I just made some oatmeal cookies from our Dining on a Dime Cookbook Volume 1. And I'm going to save this and reuse it again. I don't know, I get at least 3 or 4 uses out of each piece of parchment paper. I also use seal pats, which I love. Yes, it's looking really gnarly. I need to get some fresh. But love my seal pat also. This is a wash and reusable one, but I sometimes have to use the parchment for video reasons. Okay, so let me show you here baggies. Now, Mom just dehydrated green onions for me in this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna rinse it out. Just like that. And then I just turn it upside down and let it dry. Now, if it has breadcrumbs in it, I just shake out the breadcrumbs and just shove it back in my baggie drawer right here. Now, for trail mixes and stuff like that, use these fold top bags here. Let's see, can you see? Okay, see these fold top bags? This is what I use. These are less than a penny each. So I think it's like $1. I don't know, it's like $1 for this or something. It's not very expensive. And so I just use these baggies, and even these, if there's just breads in it or cookies or whatever, I will reuse them, shake them out, and I just shove them back in here. And then the same with the sandwich size. This is the freezer size, this is the sandwich side. And then I just shove them back in there, and then they're ready to use again. The only thing I don't reuse is if I have raw meat or pretty much any meat, just because it's so greasy. So that's the only time I don't reuse them, is if it's got meat. Our Dining on a Dime cookbook is on sale, 50% off for Mother's Day right now. You can get tips that will help you save money on your grocery bill, recipes that your family will love to eat. Click the link in the description below to get this sale today. An apple pie. Now, blueberry and cherry you don't have to worry about, but for apple pie, the apples are kind of large, so I cut them up in the can with a knife first, just like so. Okay, and here's another tip. So when I weighed this out, I put it in a bowl, but when you go to refill things like your canisters, or like I'm putting this back in here, do it over the sink. Then if it spills into the sink, and you can just rinse it out, and you're not having to take extra steps to wipe a counter when you don't have the energy to do anything in the first place. These little extra steps are what drains your energy. Got this roast for $4 a pound, $3.97 a pound, right there. Okay, and they got it all, oh, they got 2 pieces wrapped up. Look at what they did there. Oh, look what they did there. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna try a new way of making roast. All right, while I'm waiting, I'm going to repackage these into Ziploc bags for another meal. There we go. I'm going to throw those in the freezer. Hard-boiled eggs. First, you want to use eggs that are 5 to 7 days old. So it's best if you can purchase them at least a week in advance at the grocery store and let them sit. Older eggs are easier to peel than fresh eggs.
I crack my eggs on the edge of the counter because it usually prevents you from getting shells in there. quite as much as compared to doing it on the edge of a bowl.
We're gonna release the steam. I put a towel over the vent so that I don't blow food-laden steam all over my ceiling and cabinets. By the way, let me show you a little trick here. So the Instant Pot gets really nasty in here. I absolutely hate it. So what I found was I took a little bit of soap and then, oops, wrong direction. Put the brush down like this and just ran it across. See how that runs across like that? And then rinse it. And now it is all fresh and clean. Wow, that worked really well. I didn't know if it would work. So I planted my green onions in the house, and then when spring came along, I put them out here in my garden. Now I'm not saying, it sounds like you guys are busy, so I'm not saying you have a garden, but just for people who want to know. These green onions, these onions were bought at the store in, let's see, it's probably last November maybe? Probably last November, so a year ago. Planted them in the house in a little pot. Mike had green onions all winter. Spring came, I put them outside. Then we had more green onions, and now we have some onion bulbs right there. So I'm getting ready to harvest these in just a little bit, and I'm gonna start the process all over again. Now, I did have Mom dehydrate these green onion tops for me so that we can use the dehydrated green onion tops for like salads and baked potatoes and stuff. And then when those are out, then I'll buy new green onions and plant them in the house. Okay, there's my honey that's gotten crystallized. I'm just gonna stick it in the boiling water. It just takes a couple of minutes for it to dissolve. Okay, you can see my honey's all melted. And now, see, all the crystals are even off the side. And now I can go use it again. There's my little thing that to keep it from getting all over. I just store it right here in my cabinet, and there's my honey. No mess. Okay, so I put my hamburgers in the fold top sandwich bags, which are a penny piece. You fold the top down, and this little flap comes over. Then I pop these in the refrigerator, and these are 1 meal portions, about 3/4 of a pound. To not cry when peeling an onion, store your onions in the refrigerator. Then when you cut them, there will be no crying. Now, look here. See, just so you know, I'm not editing anything. No tears, no tears, no tears. And why are there no tears, Jack?
Because you put it in the fridge.
And why does that matter?
I have no idea.
Oh, I thought you knew. Because when it's cold, the gases from the onions fall instead of rise. Because cold falls instead of rise. So store your onions in the refrigerator, and then you won't cry when you cut them. And this week Mom found 53 cents for French bread. You could see that Jack gobbled it up before I could even film it hardly. It was $1.47, 75% off. Okay, this is how you bake chicken quarters. This is the chicken quarters here. Now, most of the time I just sprinkle with seasoned salt. I don't put oil or anything on there. But if you wanted to, you could put onions and bake it with onions, or oranges and bake it with oranges. Now, viewers sent me some of this Montreal steak seasoning. Thank you. You can see we've been enjoying it. So I'm going to try a little bit on here. And then I'm just going to put these puppies in the oven. Okay. Now, I'm going to do it slow, about 300 degrees for 2 hours, 350 for 30 minutes if I need to boost it a little bit, but super easy, slow roasted chicken. Oh, oops, there's my potato from the other day, I forgot. Guess I'll have to get my potato out. Whoops, well, that was a loss.